Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our LinkedIn Live with the Samantha Kelly Show. And I'm so excited to have Vanya and John from StageMyHome.ie here today. Hello there. Hi, Vanya and John.
Hi, Sam.
Hi, Samantha.
And you know what I love about this? This is actually going to be really fun. So put the kettle on, get your cup of tea or coffee, and let's get to know John and Vanya a little bit more. So first of all, Vanya, I'm going to ask you first. Tell us a little bit about yourself and about Stage My Home.
Well, I just want to start with kind of explaining a little bit what exactly home staging is. And home staging is, first of all, a very powerful marketing tool. It is about the preparation of a property before it goes on the market. And it could be anything from deep cleaning, painting, carpet replacement, or furnishing an empty property. Regardless if the property is occupied or vacant, staging it just really helps to present the property to the market to its absolute best. So I started the business back in 2022 after I was made redundant from a retail position and I was a full-time mom. And it started really as a side hustle and as a passion for interiors and presentation. At the time, we were hunting for a house.
We're looking for our second property.
Yes, and I was just scrolling through online, and I was just like seeing very poorly presented properties. Fireplace in each room. I couldn't make up. Was that a bedroom? Was that a sitting room? And I just saw a gap in the market. So Stage My Home was born. I knew about home staging from America and Australia. But at the time, it wasn't that popular in Ireland. And I just could see that properties could really benefit from presentation, especially in this on social media online world where everybody just scrolls through that before even make a decision to put a foot in a house.
And you know what? Isn't it amazing how you saw that gap just from your own experience? And and now you've got a wonderful business. I know John has just joined the crew now at Stage My Home. So John, welcome to working together as a married couple in the same business. We're going to talk about that a bit here. So you work together and you live together. What's the secret to keeping your business partnership strong without letting work take over your home life?
Well, we don't know yet.
we don't know yet.
It's like the third person in this relationship, really.
Well, the thing is that this is not actually the first time we're working together. We worked together back in 2012. We met while we were working together, and that was the funny bit.
Wow.
And at the time, what I really, really loved about working together and then we were having relationship was that I would go home and I had someone who I could talk about everything that happened at work. And that person, John,
was interested.
And I just get it. Get every single joy and problem or issue or whatever I had at work.
Yeah. But yeah, we could talk about the pros and the cons and really help each other through, even though it was just retail, we were both in managerial position at the time, but it really helped and we kind of lifted each other up. And then actually when we left the retail industry, I set up a photography company and it was the same thing. Vanya and myself worked together, even though I was taking the photographs, but she was always giving me advice and feedback on my photography. So we've always worked together in some sort of a capacity for our whole relationship. So this is nothing new with us.
Yeah, we love talking about work.
Yeah, I was just going to say, because a lot of people watching might think, well, I know that if I talk about work to my husband, he just glazes over because he just doesn't understand what I do. I think he thinks I just play on the computer all day, you know?
When he moved into the film industry, that's he would talk to me about work, and I would do the same thing. I would just listen, but not really understand.
Yes. Yeah.
Rather than when we were working in same fields, it
Mm.
was an engaging conversation.
Okay, okay. So every couple has different strengths, okay? And I know you both have different strengths. How have you divided your roles in the business according to your strengths?
Um, well, I have always been very creative, and the sourcing of inventory, furniture, creating the design look, that is all me.
Hmm.
Even though John always is asked for opinion
Okay.
on every single project, any kind of questions, or even because it is design and because it is like so creative, they're fast-paced projects. But simple things as layout in the room and making those decisions, even kind of talking out loud, really kind of helps.
We
So it's always involved.
problem solve very well together, and we've
Yeah.
always had. So two of us is a lot better than one. Now, mind you, I do look after the whole kind of operational side of the business and the team side and HR. Now,
Right.
not too dissimilar to my previous career within the film industry. So as a focus puller, I'd run the camera department and also be a creative within that team. So now it's the same thing. I'm creating teams and then operational processes, logistics, and workflow and systems in place. So
People may not know that, but like in the film world, everything is done to perfection. So John has always kind of had this eye of um, attention to detail. And when we complete projects, well, I have always kind of brought that with me as well. But the extra pair of eyes and the skill to that level on a project is just amazing.
and the whole mantra, as in, this could be your last job, so you
Oh,
have to
yes.
do it to
Yeah.
every time. Because I was freelance, you do a movie and you don't know if you're going to get the next one. So
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. And Vanya, I know even before we were doing this live, John actually moved something in the background because it was annoying him because it made it look like the plant was coming out of your head. So he moved the plant, so he saw the different things that we might not have noticed. So and also your camera work on the latest video, guys, that you are doing great videos on social media. I have to point that out. And I love the latest one because you can see the camera work is very slick. So well done. I love that. So when you disagree on a business decision, how do you work through it without it becoming personal?
It's never personal.
It's never personal.
It's never personal. On minor things, we might be disagreeing throughout the day. But on big decisions, there is never really a disagreement. Every single decision is talked through and in a very
meticulous way.
yes.
It's well thought out. So even if someone will go, all right, maybe we don't fully agree, we have so much trust in each other's abilities that okay, we will go with that decision and then we'll see how it plans out. Sometimes it doesn't work out, sometimes it does, but it's the trust that we have.
Yeah, it's my little girl has like a little thing saying trustful, and then she's like, so there is a massive element in that sense. And I still remember the first kind of large van, the first purchase we made for the business. And that was John's decision because at the time I was working in the business and I was wrapped in day-to-day projects and day-to-day decisions. And at the time, John was
I was working on the business.
In the background.
Working in the film industry.
He was working in the film industry, but he always had that eye kind of on the business that could then allow him to make the big decisions looking from the side, which is like super important.
Yes.
And yes, buying a large vehicle was his decision, and I just trusted the lead, and it was the very right decision to do, to get our vehicles in house and to get our team in house, because at the time we were working with removal companies, and sometimes we could rely on them, but sometimes we couldn't.
Mm, mm,
When we fulfill projects, they are, we have deadlines. A
mm,
project needs to be completed, then it needs to be photographed, and the property has to be put on the market. And all this is a process, and a project management. So as much in-house control we have, as better service we deliver. And that that entire idea was John's.
yeah. So you bring different qualities to the business. And what are the biggest lessons that you've learned about communication since starting a business together? And what advice would you give to other couples thinking of doing the same?
Put it in writing.
Yeah, always in writing. You can be sitting next to each other and emailing each other at the same time.
Wow, that's a really good tip.
Yes. Do you actually think that things get remembered while you're talking to someone while someone else is loading the dishwasher? That doesn't really happen.
No, it happened for a very short period of time until
Until it doesn't. Yeah, it is. So anything to do with clients, anything to do with projects, deadlines, everything is put into writing, because we don't have the luxury to miscommunicate information, as where when keys are getting collected, has this client been informed about X, Y, and Z.
Mm,
I come from a retail background, which is strongly client focused, as well as John, and in that sense, it doesn't really matter the family life when it comes to delivering the service to that client. Everything has to be
Yeah.
communicated very clearly between ourselves and between the client. So that is the reason why everything is put into writing, and we CC each other in emails, yes, while we're sitting on the sofa.
wow, that's really good.
It goes, yeah.
But as you said, it's not just we are providing a service, but we're providing the service at a very client-focused center. So that's
And it's a premium service. I mean, I feel it's premium. And I see the way you've changed a home ready for sale. It just looks so much better than it did before. So I love your before and afters. I mean, it's amazing.
And all that is a process to get from the before to the after. Is all about putting a plan in place and following that plan. So yeah, I know that on social media it all looks like it happens with a click of the fingers, but it actually doesn't. There is so much work involved behind it, and there are so many steps to be followed, and it is all about planning and communication.
Yeah, well, communication is key, and I think that goes for every married couple anyway, doesn't it? Like, communication is key. Looking back, okay, what's one thing you admire most about each other as business partners that you perhaps didn't fully appreciate before you started working together? I will ask you, John, what is the one thing you admire most about Vanya that you've noticed since working together?
This is going to be kind of cliche, but there's nothing new that I've noticed within this business, because why I fell in love with her and started going out with her was for all these characteristics. So the great thing was that we just grew ourselves throughout our career and through our different businesses. So that's why we're here. So it's not like I found anything new with her. I always knew she could do stuff like this, and her drive and her passion. And yeah.
Lovely. Drive and passion. That's so sweet. We all want to marry you, John. Okay, so Vanya, tell me, what have you noticed about John from working together?
John is very efficient. John is fantastic problem solver, and um, when John is on a project, I know that there isn't anything that could happen that could affect the deadline or the end result, or anything like that. Look, there are always things, or not always, like there's sometimes things that they could go wrong. Okay, I have an example here, and we were staging a property. It was a beautiful property, and we were installing art on the wall. And so what happened was the team member who was installing the art actually was putting up a picture over a cabinet, and uh, and then the electricity went.
Yeah. Okay.
So we opened up the doors of the cabinet, and they were lined out 6 plugs down there that
So
nobody
disclaimer,
knew about.
we do check. So whenever we're putting up
So
art, we do check where the electricity is and where the piping is. And there was 13 amp plugs on the wall, but there was a secret 13 amp plug underneath that
Right.
our guy didn't look at. So when
Mm.
he drilled through it, he blew
Popped
the
the cable.
fuse, popped the
Okay.
cable.
so I you know, when you kind of try to solve a problem, or when something like this happens, so then John knew the steps. Okay, well, happened what happened. Who do we need? We
Yeah.
didn't need an electrician, we need someone to repair the wall, and we need a painter. And those 3 contacts were there, sourced by John. Everything actually was done within that day. Everything was communicated to the client. It wasn't a massive damage. The project was completed on time, and it was completed to a high standard. Did something go wrong along the process? Yes, it did. Was it handled? Yes, it was. So massive element to all this has John had John at the time, because he's such a problem solver. And
Mm.
you know, at the end of the day, having such a confidence at every single project we step in is priceless. And honestly, they are projects which I wouldn't have been able to fulfill the same way as I have when I had John working on site. And even when he was working in the film industry, and I was completing projects on my own, because I was on my own and I was working with contractors, I would schedule that particular project on dates when John was available to oversee certain things.
Right. So you needed him by your side to help you. I suppose the trust as well. I get that vibe from you both. You both trust each other so much and trust each other's decisions, and you know that it's going to be okay. Like, so that's lovely. Well, thank you so much for giving us a little insight into what it's like working together when you're married. Is there anything you'd like our audience to know before we wrap up?
Well, my message is that, first of all, before a property goes on the market, it's very important to be presented to its very, very best. Second of all, it is super important who you work with and the team around you.
Mhm.
Do you have people who you really, really trust? Because a
But
business,
you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with. And that
yes,
all walks of life, but especially within your company, you're only as good as your team members.
yeah, the business has ups and has downs, and as long as we just go forward and we move forward, we can overcome obstacles. Never stay still. Never stay still. Always keep moving.
I can imagine. I can just imagine. And you have a busy household, I know, and especially over summer. So I wish you all the best. And I hope you get a little bit of a break over the summer. And it's lovely to talk to you both. And if anyone does need some home staging, I highly recommend stagemyhome.ie. Can they find you on social media? Is it Instagram? Where else?
We're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, and our website.
Great. And I think there's a YouTube channel coming soon, folks.
Coming soon, yeah.
Definitely loads of videos there you can have a look at, folks, if you want to see the quality of the work that they do. Thank you so much, Vanya and John.